concluding what I'm saying, that we all need to be part of the process. We all need to get involved. We all need to be part of a group. We must be part of a group within our constituency. And of course, there are other things that we can do. Yes, there are those of us who are very good at writing. We can pen in some things, send it through the party office, and we'll get it printed in one of the weekly papers. Because so much is happening in our country today, and most of us are staying quiet about it. We must talk. Let's start talking if we haven't started yet. My friends, I also want to remind us, and I hear it as I go along, different village, different parts of the country. Oh, these guys are doing so much foolishness, they won't make it. It won't be long before we have an election. They can't make 5 years, and you hear it all. Are you ready to take leadership of this country once again? No. Vendome and Northeast St. George is not ready. Are you ready? No, man, you can't tell me you're ready. You look like you're ready for the cemetery. No, man, you're not eager, you're not energetic, you're not ready to hit the streets. Now, I'm asking you that because I hear it from so many people, so many of us who say we are NNP and we support. But the real question is, what are we doing about getting ready? When last did we encourage someone, especially the youngsters, to go get registered? When was the last time did we check the voters list? Not only to identify names on it, but to even check to see if our names are on the list. Yes? When last did we call up our lead political person or someone in our village and say, look, nothing is happening in my village. I think we should have a little togetherness. I think we should have a little meeting and start talking. We need to get involved. You cannot leave it up to Dr. Mitchell alone, or Brother Nimrod, or the few people that you believe are at the helm. It takes the collective effort of each and every one of us to get this thing going, to get us where we want to be, to get us to the point where we are so ready that the people of this country will demand to see the NNP back in office. So I encourage all of us to get involved. Let's start working. Politics is every day, everywhere, and with everybody we meet. Don't wait until we say it's campaign time. There is what I refer to as soft politics. Campaign is when you hit the road. Hard politics, when you argue, when you bring the facts out. No soft politics. Visit the neighbor. Check the sick person. Ask the lady down the road with the 4 children, how you making it? We know you was dismissed from your job. We may not have tangible things to give all the time. We may not be able to give a $5 or a $10 every day. We may not be able to bring a pound of rice or a pound of chicken. But if we are there, if we empathize, if we show them that we care, when the time comes, they will quicker listen to you than the person who they did not see for 4 or 4.5 years. So let's get the ball rolling and start doing. And if you have started already, let's intensify and encourage others. So I've said enough to you so far for the night. I want to now invite a good friend of ours to just come and say hello and bring a little greetings. Put your hands together for Brother Victor Philip, to just say hello and good night. We're just moving the podium to the brighter side.
Good night to all. Good night to NNP. Right, good. I'm happy to be here. And also I would like to applaud the political leader and his team for the efforts we are making at the time to go around and to make sure that we engage people. I think it is important. The General Secretary tell us and explain to us the importance of it. So I myself want to be part of that. So whenever I can make it, I will be there, because we need to let people know that we are leading from ourselves and not just from behind, but in front. So again, thank you very much, and I want to encourage you to continue and to encourage others to come out and let us do the work. God bless and good night.
Thank you, Brother Philip. Brother Bello. You remember the No, don't say that word. The man never whine. The man danced nicely. Anyway, we are happy to have you, and thank you for your greeting. We have in our midst another brother who had just gone through a very sorrowful time. He has lost his partner for so many years. He's also a good soldier of the New National Party. He never fails to fight when he's called upon. And we really want to welcome you, Brother Cox, all the way from Carriacou, who is here with us tonight. We give you the opportunity to bring some greetings.
Thank you very much, our able-bodied General Secretary. Good night to everyone here, our political leader, our distinguished leader. I must add, we should not take his contribution and service lightly, and we should recognize it and be grateful for everything that he has done for this party and this country. My dear brother Nimrod and brother Bello, I want to see, I didn't tell anybody that I was coming this evening. I think I met one person on the road today, and I told them that I'm going to be here. But I am in Grenada just to handle some personal stuff. And of course, when you're an MP and you have work to do, you have to do it. While this is a difficult time for myself and my family, we are very grateful for the support that the party has been giving us over this difficult period. And that's what the party do. We support each other wherever it's necessary. And I'm very grateful for that, and I want to say thank you to the New National Party. At the same time, I am very eager and excited about getting the work done. And I say this in the context that, which I said to our soldiers in Carriacou, do not be despondent, because we have so much to be proud of as a party. We have done big things for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We have done significant things for this country. The National Party stands out from the rest. And for this, we must be proud. We must be proud of what we have done for Grenada. Never mind the noise in the market. When you look around, when you look at institutions that were established, the National Party, be it in education, be it in health, be it in sports, we have done it for Grenada. We have done it. So I want you to be encouraged by that. In everything, there are transitions, there are changes, but we must remain resolved. Our characteristic as a party, we have stand with this country, and we have stand with the people in this country who need the most help. And that is our hallmark. That is the reason why we have to continue to support our brothers and sisters who are seeing significant problems right now. And so we have a responsibility and we are up to the task. So I want to congratulate you for coming out this evening and for believing and trusting in the National Party. And I just want to leave on the last note, just for it to stay in our mind, stay in our heads, and repeat as a mantra, the New National Party is number one. Thank you very much.
Well said, my brother. Once you are NNP anywhere you are. Always remember that. We will fight, we will battle, and of course, we know and we see what's happening. It's very easy to defend the proud history of the New National Party. Now we have in our midst a gentleman who has been in the vineyard, who has been a member and a proud supporter of the party for many years before he eventually came forward and said, look, I am ready to bat. But he didn't score as much runs as we expected in the last election. He fell short of the century, but he's still here with us. And so I want to invite him to the microphone so he can speak to you a little bit. Let's put our hands together to invite Brother Nimrod Oliver.
Thank you, General Secretary, Brother Bola. Listen, good night to our political leader. And like Brother Cox said, not just any political leader, the very best, I'm not even going to say one of the best, the very best in the Caribbean, if not in the Western Hemisphere. Brother Cox, night to you, and thank you. It was indeed a surprise, but I know the surprise is probably a little payback for us. Well, me personally coming up to Carriacou, because I was supposed to travel, but there's no way I could have left you in that grief for yourself. We had to come and be with you. Brother Bello, thank you. And General Secretary. But most importantly, thank each and every one, and good night to each and every one of you for coming here. Even with thank you, even with the short notice of the venue change. But I will leave that for our esteemed political leader to deal with. We here in Vendome, and as we know, let me just take a minute to recognize that we in Vendome, and we know Vendome is going through a period of grieving. And I just want the people of Vendome and the outside constituencies to know, or the outside PDs rather, to know that the New National Party is here with you as a community during your time of grief. Brothers and sisters, I'm here tonight, and I'm feeling very, very happy. I'm feeling strengthened. I'm feeling encouraged, because we know the New National Party is the party to take Grenada forward. We all know, we're very familiar with the results of the election, but a mere 9-10 months later, well, actually next month will be 1 year, we know the pains, and we see the pains that we are feeling in this country. But have no fear. Have no fear. Like was done after the 2008 to 2013 NDC, the New National Party will be back to rescue you and to make sure that Grenada continues going forward. But I want to echo the sentiments of Brother Bola. We can't just sit back and say, they're messing up and we're suffering and we're going to win the election. There is work that has to be done and we have to step forward and do the work. We have to do the work. It was very easy for us in the New National Party that contested the last election to sit back and say, all right, you know, we're going to give them a chance, or they win, we lost, let's wait for, they have 5 years late, wait for 2. I could tell you, election was June 23rd. And June 23rd, June 28th, while they were busy promoting people in the RGPF, 5 days after the election, our political leader was on the phone with me telling me, Nimrod, we got to get to work. But he could have only done that because of the leadership qualities that he has. And he knows that it was a long, hard road. And I still kind of said, you know, it's a week after election and the man saying we had to get to work. But here it is. Everything that he told me the week after the election, it's coming to rest. It's coming to rest because people here started crying with their mouth closed 3 months after election. But we the supporters, we the members of the NNP have to go out and ensure it's not too early. It's not too early to start having the discussions. One of the things that we faltered with, we didn't talk with our kids enough. We did not talk with our own kids enough. But gone are the days when mommy and daddy was a Garyite and the house is a Gary house. Gone are the days when mommy and daddy strong NNP supporters, so you assume that the kids and the children going to be NNP supporters. We have to talk to them and we have to let them know why they should support the New National Party. We cannot take it for granted. And once we do the work, once we start registering our people and ensuring that they know the values of the New National Party, we are confident. We are confident that whenever they call that election, the New National Party will be returned to rule in this country. There's a lot going on among us. People are getting laid off, left, right, and center. There's no other way to put it, right? People are getting sent home. People are getting sent home. And those of us that listened to Sister Kate the other day with her program, the articulation was there. Because the justification that they tried to give us is that, well, we sending home this set, but we employing that set over there. And we bring in somebody else from another nonsense. Because at the end of the day, once a man stops making $1, that man and his family is hurting. So you cannot say you want to transform and you want to create by merely displacing. Because when you displace people, their lives are affected. So we need to call them out for that. We need to recognize it. And we need to hold their feet to the fire. We live in an era right now of social media. And it's very easy to believe the lies. They have a habit of putting out texts or messages on a Friday evening or Thursday, sometime Thursday evening or sometime Friday, they start these rumors. And you know what we do? You know what we do? We amplify it and we share it for them. And that's what they want. We are doing their job for them. We are putting the structure of the party, of the constituency in place right now in the Northeast. We are already working on it. And before the month's end, we will have our structure. I know Brother Bola called us out on it, but I want to let him know we are working in it in earnest. And we have to start turning to the party apparatus for our messages. And when we get the messages, and I know even in some of the chats that I'm in, we share our messages and we do not amplify it. We don't share it, we don't spread it. But when we hear the rumor and the gossip about some meeting that take place and who wasn't invited, or you in here who the political leader wants to be leader, well, I don't know, I just talk to him very often. I see him often, and he's never tell me who he wants to be leader. And I value our friendship. So when you see these things, you just have to take it for what it is. Check the source of some of these things. We read something in the, what's the name of the paper, the New Yesterday or the New Tomorrow or whatever. Come on. The editor or the owner for that paper was probably one of the most sued journalists there is in Grenada. And every time he was sued, he lost. So why would we take an article or something in there to believe it's credible? But that's part of our problem, because we as the new national party, we have to start spreading our positive message so that we have the effective message among us. We have to recognize when they put these garbage out and they get us to spread it for them, they are winning. They are the ones winning. So I'm counting on each and every one of us here to start paying attention. Start spreading the message that we put in the PD chat. Start spreading positive message. Let us make the people of Grenada be aware that today is, what's the day, the 17th or the 18th? The 17th, the 18th. And some people ain't even get a little takadua yet. But I could tell you if it was the new national party that was doing bi-monthly payments, that money would have been in people's account Thursday or Friday. Because the doc would have realized that it's a weekend. Because whether we want to face it or not, the new war they have now is the cancel culture, and I will use the word cancel culture for poor and vulnerable, because they say NNP only talking about poor and vulnerable. No, NNP talks about poor and vulnerable because the leader and the party recognize that we do have less fortunate among us. And the NNP has always been the stalwart party when it comes to putting program in place to help those that don't have it. No, they don't even want us to mention the word poor and vulnerable. No one is saying that if you're poor and vulnerable now, you're going to remain there. That's not what we're saying. We are saying you have to recognize it so that we do something about it, and we have the programs. But you know why they don't want us to talk about it? Because they know that administration is for the rich boys, because they don't care about the poor and vulnerable. That is why they don't want to mention it. That is why their policies does not help any one of us, because we're too poor for them. My friends, Not going to be too long because we still have the esteemed leader to speak, and then we're going to take some questions. I want to end almost how I started. Let's all put our hearts and hands into it. Let's start doing the work. Let's start building our new national party. So that when elections come around, we are fully ready. All the other issues about who should be leader and who shouldn't be leader and who are to go and who shouldn't can't take place without the party structure being in place. You can't talk about leadership when we have a leader now, and he's one of the hard, I wouldn't even say one of, he is the hardest working person in the new national party right now. So together with him, I'm asking all of us, let's work in earnest, put the structure in place. He has talked about leadership and leadership change, and when the process, it's a process, right? Everything, it's a process, and we have to do it the right way, and it will be done the right way. Forget all the old talk about meetings and all of that. We have it, even in my family. My wife does have meetings with my sisters, and we the males in the family don't be part of the meeting. So you could be in the executive, but then there's an executive meeting within the executive. It's simple. I'm in a number of clubs in Grenada, sporting-wise and all of that, or Old Boys Association, and sometimes, yes, there's an executive meeting that's not open to the whole executive. The point is, let's focus on what's important to us, doing the groundwork, registering our people, making sure we're making people aware of the negative effects this administration is having on our people, and that you recommend for the next election, whenever it's going to be, that they vote for the new national party to return to office.
Thank you very much, Brother Nimrod. The man looked like he's been going to the nets. Getting ready for the next match, yeah? Yeah, you can count on him. He's going to score runs. I just want to recognize in our midst Stalwart, another brother who has been around, been part of the struggle. One of yours, former Senator Winston Garaway, please. Give him a round of applause. We are happy to have all of us here. And it was re-emphasized, and we cannot say it too many times, that the work must be done. If we are not prepared, if we are not doing what we are supposed to, when the ball comes into our court, it will be easily snatched away because we were not prepared to handle it. So we have the guys doing all what they're doing. We continue to complain. We talk about the pain and the sorrow and the suffering. And we continue to say that it's only a matter of time. But if we do not prepare properly and sufficiently. Now remember, NNP prior to the last election did not do everything perfect. It was not doing badly. People were happy. They were telling you things were happening in the country. They were seeing progress. There was a brighter day ahead of them. But just with a few promises, just by saying to us that contract work is illegal and that all it takes It's one stroke of the pen to make you permanent. Since then, I hear the pen catch stroke. He can't write again. Nobody ain't get permanent because this pen can't make a stroke because he got stroke. The issue is, we may feel very confident that because of what they're doing, because of the mismanagement and the mistreatment of people, it is automatic that people will vote NNP. Not so true, my friends. A few little lies and some good sounding phrases may cause some of us, and most of the younger ones who do not understand, to fall prey to them again. So we all need to get up and let's start now. Get people registered, check the voters list, do the canvassing. As I said before, soft politics, get in touch with people, make them know we care, we empathize with their situation, but we'll only be able to do something positive to help them when they do something positive to bring the new National Party back to office to make sure that their lives will get better. Now, my friends, we have a very esteemed individual, knowledgeable and skilled, well experienced, has given the better part of his life, I would say, not just youthful, but his life, 40 years and counting, to this nation and to this great party, the new National Party. And he would like nothing better in his retirement than to see the new National Party remain strong and forceful and continue to be the #1 party in Grenada, working on behalf of the people. So friends, join me. Join me with a lusty round of applause as we bring to the podium to speak to us our esteemed political leader, the Grand Master of it all, Dr. Keith Mitchell.
Good evening, sisters and brothers. Good evening, everybody. Of course, our General Secretary, your candidate in the last general election, and I hope soon to be the new representative of St. George's Northeast, Brother Nimrod. I say that seriously, because anything could happen anytime, the way things going. And Brother Cox, I must say that it takes a lot of commitment for him to be here, because losing your wife just recently, a young person with a young family, and for him to be here tells you the tremendous concern the brother has for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. That's the kind of people we have in the NNP. People are concerned about country, not about self. And of course, Brother Bello, who was the candidate in the last general election for St. Patrick West, we welcome you here this evening also. Friends, we are here in Vendome Community Center tonight. But the meeting was not scheduled for Vendome. It was scheduled for Boca Secondary School. I wonder if many of you know why we are here and not in Boca. You know why? Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Last Tuesday, because today is Thursday, we had a bumper meeting in St. George's Southeast in Monjalou. And the crowd was overflowing. Lots of people couldn't get seats. And it appears that some people start getting scared. So they called to say, No more school for the NNP to have meeting. I mean, you ever hear more stupidness like that? That's the kind of people, children, small-minded people, who never see come see. That he never thought. That's the kind of people in charge of policy making in this country. And when you see this level of pettiness, you know this thing can't last. So they're hoping by doing this, we will cancel the meeting. But as I told Brother Nimrod, if we have to hold a meeting under some cocoa tree, we go hold a meeting. Let them know. NNP had been in government. I lasted 23 years as Prime Minister of this country. And never in that time that no one could say that we wanted to have a political meeting in any government building and we turned them down. I repeat, 23 years, you know. And most times they didn't have one member in the opposition in Parliament. We had 15 seats. 3 times, that 15 out of the 23 years. We had all the seats. Yet the opposition party with no member in Parliament came to have meeting in government departments, community centers, schools, whatever government building. They never were refused. Just think about that, sisters and brothers. And when they're talking, tell them that. So if they believe they will stop us. Joke they're making. Sisters and brothers, as soon as the election was over, you had some minions, I don't know if you have in Vendome, going around saying they want them keys to the community centers. I mean, the community centers were built for the people of the community, not for the party in power. NNP was not in charge of any community center. Tell them stupid is that. The NNP was never in charge of any community center. We had people in the community managing and running their community centers. Well, listen to this now. In Northwest St. George's, the man they get about almost $2,000 leaks, 2,000 votes leaks, right? So you ain't get votes. But a couple people that they go into people in the community and say they want the key because the party win. You ever hear more foolishness like this? In other words, they don't even have people in the community who support them in any serious way. But they want to go and collect the keys for the Harpeel Community Center, the Bushview Community Center, for the Brizan Community Center, for Fontenoy Community Center. And if they come here, tell them, mash dog, leave us alone. Let's say that. If they come here, tell them, mash. Because this is foolishness, is dividing the community. These community centers are for the people. They're not for any party person, whether you name NDC or NNP. You have a right in the community centers built for the people in the community throughout the length and breadth of the country. Let them understand that, educate them. Because when you do things like that, you are, as a government, you're supposed to be uniting people, helping people to come together, to work together. So whether they vote NNP or NDC, you want them to work together. But when you go and you're making it look like party win and every community, every school, only those who are in government could have meeting in a school in the community. Only those with a certain political leaning could have a meeting in a school. This is so much stupid. It is so backward, so childish. And therefore, we must not keep our mouth shut. We have to speak out against those things. And as long as I have the breath of life, I will not stop speaking out against that kind of foolish behavior taking place in our country in the name of government. Because what the people do not know, a man vote for you today and he ready to knock you down tomorrow. Because he voted believing you will do something for him or his family or his country. And if you fail him, you turn in overnight. I remember one time a representative in your own constituency here in Northeast, in Parliament, when I was speaking, he said, "Man, I warned you because I win my seat by over 1,200 votes." I said, "Oh, so they vote in your pocket? You tie it up. Next election, I hope he stay tight. Next election, the man losing." You understand the point I'm making? In other words, don't ever take the votes of the people for granted. To some extent, we may have done that. That's why we lost. We did not do our work sufficiently. We're accustomed winning by 15 seats, so we assume we're going to win. Some people wanted change because they want time for opposition. Some people feel time, keep Michelle Day too long, give another man a chance, they want baby Jesus. You know, well, I don't know. I only give in what they say. So I'm giving the language that they use. But friends, we have to understand what is taking place in our country, and each of us must get involved in understanding what's taking place. We are facing a situation in our country today, an economic situation that is one of the worst we have seen. Today, for example, I was driving through St. George's. After 4, the place empty. You could have driven through St. George's in NMP time at 4:30. You would have to find another road if you want to get through to go to pass the Grenville, to go to Grenville or St. David's or to go to the western side, because the traffic and the business activities all around the country. Shops where people used to circulate, the boys and girls circulating, having a drink and celebrating. I don't know what they're celebrating, but socializing. Today you're passing, shop closing 6:30. Shop close, you know. That, all you understand what I'm saying, you know. I've seen it around the place in my own constituency, and I've seen it in several parts of the country. When you ask the owners, well, why are you closing so early? He said, Doc, what you want me to do? Get electricity price high, light on, nobody coming and buy nothing. So we are getting the money to pay electricity to the closing. The economic situation is bad. The cost of living is getting ridiculous. People tell you they go to shop today, they get something for $10. By the time they go back 2 weeks later, $15, $12, $13, $14. So the prices of goods are increasing astronomically. But the question is, there's supposed to be people in charge of the government who's supposed to be helping to understand the pain of the people in the country. And supposed to be doing something to ease the pain of the people. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But nothing, you can't hear nothing. All you see them driving in the best of cars, some of them just come in. They're building $1 million house overnight, and I don't envy anybody building but not use the government. The government not supposed to build $1 million house for any representative. If you have your resources or your family want to help your friends, go ahead and do it, but not the government bank giving you money, millions of dollars to cover your tracks. I say it's morally wrong, and I say it is some persons who have no conscience will do this. While a poor person wants to get a $30,000 loan to do a business, to create opportunities, to help his family, they want them bring their whole life as guarantee. But a man who refuses to pay a bill, everybody can get government money over the tune of $2 million plus. And I am not criticizing the man, you know. You know who are criticizing? Those who made the decision to do it. Because I could ask for anything. But your job is to make sure I meet the condition to get it. So I am not here to knock the brother. I'm knocking those who are responsible, whom you voted for to protect the country's resources. One get $1.7 million loan. Well, why can't go to Republic Bank and get it? Why can't he go to Nova Scotia Bank, whatever bank that exists in the country? Go there. Why is the poor little government bank that the NNP built from scratch to make it rich today? No minister in my government that I led would have come to me and tell me, Doc, I owe John, I owe Lucy, I want a big loan to pay them off because they had me back. No minister, no party member has ever approached me in 23 years and asked me to do that for them because they know that's not on the cards. My friends, what is so sad? The government is supposed to look at what is happening and take initiative to ease up the pressure and the pain on the people of the country. Instead of that, they're just joyriding. It tells you how they're behaving like never see come see. One went to Cuba. He went to Cuba, and maybe it's the first time he get a ride on a plane, I don't know. So, and he put on Facebook, I just come from Cuba, and I ain't even going home, I'm going straight to America on another plane. You see that? You understand what is happening? So this thing, when you voted for people to go and get a ride, you know. I thought when people take on the responsibility to manage a country, it was about helping to lift the lives of the people of that country. And those who are representatives should be thinking of, if you're a representative in St. George's Northeast, you have to find out what's happening in New Hampshire. How can you help the people in New Hampshire? How can you help the people in Vendome? Because a lot of them not working and they're having difficulties paying their bills. You should be on the ground helping them. You should be in Bolio, Tempe, Mount Parnassus, right? Monge, all over the place. Listening to people, you will not be able to solve all their problems overnight, but you should be able to guide them how they can deal with some of it. And whatever you have, you may be able to put a little piece there too. But that's not their priority. It's like somebody win a bingo and it's no time to enjoy it. In other words, they completely miss the point of representation, sisters and brothers. So there should have been policies put in place to help to reduce prices in other ways the government can do. There could have been a system in place to look at the poor and the vulnerable and say, let me add a little more to the poor and the vulnerable to help them to cope. Instead of that, they cut in the pay of the seed, the little piece of money that we give the seed. Poor people to buy little thing, food, medication. basic stuff. Some of them have to buy Pampers in their older age. They have problems. Instead of you give them more, you cut it. I never hear in my entire life, all the years I spent in politics, over 40 years, I've never seen a government decide cutting the pay, particularly of the poor people, in any situation. Sometimes when they don't increase it, they will tell you why. And they say, well, look, we'll try to do it next year. But I never hear they cut the pay of someone like that, particularly the poor and vulnerable. So that is the problem that we're facing in our country, my friends. And that is the problem that we find. The young people voted in large numbers for this government. Because what they tell them, those who are in the money by the thousands, the NNP put there, they lied with them before, and they lied with the new set again. And they still fell for it again. You know, they tell them, NNP using you, man. You should be permanent. Brother Bola say, by a stroke of the pen, I'll make you permanent. Brother say the pen have a stroke. I using Bola words. So the people burden for that. They tell you contract work is illegal. A lawyer said that, you know. And he knows better. But they're saying anything to get votes. Lie, lie, lie. They tell you that NNP used to were promoting people in the police force based on party politics. I was Minister of National Security, and no one could ever say I recommended the promotion of anyone in the police force. No one. I got reports from the commissioner and his hierarchy. And I would ask questions. Why this? Why that? But I never took the initiative to recommend anyone. So some police officers believed that I was, because some of them were made to believe that I had something to do with it. But I could stand there and take a Bible and take an easily and swear that I have never done it before my God. But people want to believe what they want to believe. Because I do not believe that the policymaker, the politician, should be interfering with a system that creates the atmosphere for proper development of the country, to let it be based on party politics. I do not believe in it. I fundamentally disagree with that process. Same thing in the public service. Millions of dollars was given to the government of Grenada during our time by the British Development Division, by the United States Development Agency, by the European Union, to help to set up a system of government where people, the public service, would have a structure and a policy system in place that decides decision-making in the public service. I cannot tell you that everything was done perfectly as we wanted to, but that was the intention, and most of it, that's where it went. But they walk into government, so people are promoted based on a system of analysis of your performance. As I said, I'm not telling you it was perfect and that every decision made was right, because I was not involved in the actual decision making. I had to approve things. When recommendation come, I would know all the details. If something went wrong, one might say the minister must take blame. Okay, I take responsibility in that way, but I had no direct role in this. But the system was in place. But somebody come into government, what they do? Somebody is a lower public servant because you and them have a relationship. You know them. Because they campaign for you. You just take them overnight. No system make them permanent secretary, the top of the class. You know what does? And the guys do not understand how badly stupid that is politically. Because a lot of people sitting there working hard and expected to be promoted based on their performance and their hard work. They say, me, I ain't doing nothing. You all know the public servants. When you see they turn on you, they laugh and give you and they drive in and nail in your coffin. The state of affairs of the public service now has never been as bad. The police force, the policemen are totally demoralized because people who did not perform, who didn't even take the examination as a basic criteria for promotion, were promoted, and those who are doing their work hard and helping to secure this country have been told no. Because I hear you used to be close to an NNP person. I hear you're a friend of so-and-so person in the police force who happen to, they believe is an NNP. That's how decisions are made. So your security of your country has been undermined because of that stupid backward position. Understand this, sisters and brothers. Your own security is being jeopardized, you know. But the point is, it is being done in your name. Because they didn't take a gun and put in our heads to vote for them. We willingly went to the polls and put people that don't have a clue about government. Do not understand the basic criteria of governance of a public service system. But we willingly gave them our votes. And I'm using the word we. I can't say not me because I'm a Grenadian. And Grenada did it. So I put my name in we, specifically. But then they start victimizing people left, right, and center all over the place. And they call it a big word, you know, restorative justice. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Big word. You know what a simple word mean? What I mean? You don't know what a simple word for that restorative justice, that big word? Anybody have a basic word for restorative justice? What is that? Tell me the word now. Nobody here know? Victimization. Spite. Hate. Malice. This is how you're going to run a country? This is how you run a business? It must collapse. My friends, so we must not close our eyes. We had a program called CES that negotiated millions of dollars from the Caribbean Development Bank. Millions of dollars from the Caribbean Development Bank, friends. It was to help people during this COVID time to set up business, those who are in difficulties. And they only charge you 1% interest on that loan. And they give you a 3-year grace to repay. The men came in because we didn't expect to lose the election. They came in, the program was on, millions of dollars left. Within a few months, they wipe it out. The same man they gave $2-point-something million to cover his debts all over the place, they gave him $300,000 out of that CES money too. So that man's a real good man. He get money from CES because that's for the poor people that can't afford to go to the bank and get loans with all kinds of conditions. He get $300,000 at 1% interest and he get another $2-point-something million. So I don't know what about this man that he alone could get almost $2.7 million from the taxpayers of the country. Why some of you can't buy a bread, sisters and brothers. Your money, you know, not his, not Deacon, not Keith Mitchell money. Your money. But you can't get a cent. But one man could get $2.something million out of your money. My friends, the money now, I know what I'm talking about. I have people in my constituency who are not my supporters, but one thing I could tell you, my people in my constituency, even those who don't vote for me, they like me as a person. So one fella called me and said, Doc, I ain't ashamed. Because I know I criticize the NMP and so on, but I didn't vote for you. But my boys called me, one of them called me and tell me, they have a money for me. So when I go, you see, I get a nice money, I take it, but I didn't even ask for money. Yes, you know. You see the game that been? So when NNP, persons they believe of NNP who have a good program to help create a job that can help people in the community, what the CES was meant to do, when they go, they tell them, money finish. Just money finish. And this is happening within a year, you know. The men not in office for even a year yet, because next month will be a year. And the amount of wickedness that has taken place already, it is question, you wonder what's going to happen. If the last 3 years, what would it be like? Because every day you're hearing another story, and another story, and another story. That is what we are facing in our country. And sisters and brothers, you have to, all of you have to stand up, you know. Because what is happening, I believe, it seems that they have locked the mouths of some trade union leaders in the country. When this country was being run well, jobs created, business activities created in the country. Labor Day, man, bad mouth. Minister can't even go and give a speech. Bad mouth for, hey, Labor Day gone. You will think some union leaders who are a member of the executive of the National Democratic Congress. And when one union leader stand up for all the workers that have been fired, and that same union leader that stand up for it, want to stand up, he voted for them, you know. And he might still be a supporter. They start to curse the man. They start to curse him. So I'm not here giving a brief for him, because he's not necessarily an NNP, but he was doing what is right. If you're a union leader and you do not stand up for your workers, then you have no right to be a union leader. I remember one time, Brother Laurie Joseph was Minister of Labor, and he went to give a Labor Day speech. And some of the same union leaders were around. They pulled the mic from the man's mouth. You remember that? So he looked like they take a lock and put on some of them out now. They pull no mic. My friends, I'm making the point. You have to be fearless to deal with that group. If you afraid them, that's what they like. They want to show, when they decide we can't go to a school, we cancel a meeting and we can have a meeting. But I said before, if we have to go under a cocoa tree, we will do precisely this. But we have to stand up and protect this country. And I make the point, even if we're not thinking about ourselves, we have responsibility for our children and grandchildren, you know. If you don't want to stand up for yourself, stand up for your children and grandchildren. They didn't bring themselves here. We brought them. And therefore, their future must be protected. And therefore, we have a responsibility to stand up and protect the future of our children and grandchildren. My friends, the way forward, Brother Bola spoke briefly about this. I want to make a point. We lost the general elections. In fact, I believe we didn't lose, we gave it away. Okay, I'm making a point. Because even them guys were surprised they win. Because we took a lot for granted. we are accustomed winning 15 seats. So some of us is, man, I ain't going to vote, man. We win already. I heard it in my own constituency. A lot of my supporters stayed home because I win already. It just happened that Northwest St. George had a big majority. But we could have lost. If our seat was a close one, we would have lost too, because a few hundred of our people didn't go out and vote because they were in already. My friends, we have to go back on the ground. We have to build a strong party group in Vendome with serious people. So if some of us tired, let a new group take over with energy. Because sometimes, after a time, all of us get tired, you know. So it doesn't mean that you're no longer an NMP or a committed person. It just means that you serve a lot and you need new blood. And that's okay. So no one should be got rid of. No one should be moved. But we need additional. So Vendome must have a vibrant party group. New Hampshire must have a vibrant party group. Doing the work, talking to the people, informing people, educating people. Bolio must have its own. Tempe must have its own. Mount Parnassus must have its own. Monge must have its own. And right throughout the Northeast, friends, until we have those groups functioning, we cannot say we win in any election. That means we talking, we whooping, like the NDC doing in government today. And whooping is a dangerous thing in cricket. So it means that we have to get down to work. When Brother Nimrod is coming around and trying to get us involved, it means we need volunteers. Volunteers. The party in opposition can say, we're working for money. We're working for our children and our grandchildren. And that's when sacrifice. I watched this thing in 1990 when we lost almost all the seats in the country. 1.5 seats we won. You know what the half is? We won 1.5. We got people from different parts of the country who came forward and went into villages without getting a cent. And within 5 years, we were in government. Within 5 years, we were in government. Some committed Grenadian patriots. In 2008, when we lost again, everybody said, we're dead, we finished. Even some members of our party stayed out. They say, we're done. Some members of our own executive stayed out. They say, we're dead. So, friends, it happens every time you lose. There are recriminations and there's sometimes bad talking and bad mouthing. Forget that. That will end, and it will end soon if you end already. Because we need everybody in this struggle. We need each man on board. So throughout the length and breadth of the country, we want people to organize the party groups. So within now and the end of the year, latest. Within now and the end of the year, we should have all the groups ready. And then we'll have a youth convention to mobilize the young people because their future is at stake. We have to involve them in the decision-making of the party. In the process, we must also have a women's convention because it is said women do well in politics, but the people that really bring emotionalism and real support, emotional support in politics are the women folks. That's a fact. We are not as emotional as women. When they say they're ready, they're ready. Some men tell you they're ready, and then you will look back, they're behind the back. But I say to you, sisters and brothers, we need to move this thing forward. But before I sit down, I want to give you a certain warning. Sisters and brothers, we're living in a different period. This is the period of social media, social platforms. See the meeting we're having here today? It's being streamed. So a lot of people see it. But that by itself would not win us government. Social media is key in reaching the young people and those who are on the platforms. It means that we have to do a lot more than we did in the past. And we are as a party, we're working and building a strong platform, social media platform, that can bring the message through the constituencies, all villages. So those who come to meeting will see and hear. But those who do not come and on social media would also get the message. And I want to tell you also, with artificial intelligence, sisters and brothers, we have to watch it. Because there are all kinds of things people can take your voice and put it there and make it look like you're cussing somebody that you don't know nothing about. That's the age. In other words, I'm warning you, do not read things on social media and take it as a fact. Because sometimes I get things from people, oh God, Doc, what happened there? Lie, fake news. But they're getting worried, stressing out themselves. Next thing you get stroke. Because you're reading things and believing it. If you see something and you are concerned, call a key member. And he will tell you. Even today, I had to reply to 2. They send this thing to me. I just write back, fake news. Please stay away from fake news. This is not true. And therefore, that is my warning I want to give every single person. Because it's not going to stop. There are certain people won election, the last election in certain constituencies, and you never saw them before. That's true, There are candidates that won election, the last election, and never had a public meeting. But they win. How they win? Social media. They were on the platforms. Their soldiers were on the platform spreading all sorts of message. All kinds of message they were spreading. Someone was spreading something recently, and they say they keep Michelle dying, they see him in a wheelchair, and so on. So I said to myself, well, you see me tonight, right? How you find her looking? How you find her looking? And I'm looking better than most of them, eh? Looking better than most of them. And I always tell them what they could do, I could do it better. Sisters and brothers, it's good to see you tonight. I look forward to your questions and comments.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Dr. Mitchell, man. Come on. He has explained to you quite a lot of what's happening, the way things are going. Now, in this forum, we give an opportunity to
Kids. Alua act, I like it. Alua act, I like it. Which one you like? We like it. Which one you like? We like it. I did to Groovy for 2018. One name Kid, one name Lazim. I visit Grenada, Jarry to 1 p.m. to find out how they feel about them. Alua act, I like it. Alua act, I like it. Which one you like? We like it. Which one you like? We like it. You ski for the competition. One, Alua act, I like it. Alua act, I like it. In my quest to find out why they chose it, they told me it have right formula. He said quality is exceptional. Last can compare with it, no time at all. Alua act, I like it. one you like, we like it. You skip for the competition. Kings is the better one. Alua act, I like it. Alua act, I like it. I ask Jamo, I like it. I ask Zingo, I like it. I ask Sheldon, I like it. I ask Simple Dan, I like it. Which one you like? We 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 like it. The human it is amusing. Pastor Peace is outstanding. Grenadian say it is amazing. There is no quality in nothing. Alua act, I like it. Alua act, I like it. Which one you like? We like it. Which one you like? We like it. You skinny for the competition. Kings is the better one. Alua act, I like it. Alua act, I like it. I act Superstar, I like it. I act Trina, I like it. I act Slatter, I like it. I act Major, I like it. Which one you like? We 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 like it.
NNP, the new national party. I'm here to promote. Yes, you got my vote. Warm to them. Your mundo. Vote it Mitchell. What? Vote it Mitchell. What? Vote it Mitchell. Them boy can beat Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Them boy can beat Mitchell. We give them a chance before. Them mash up the place and go. We give them a chance before. Them break up the place and go. We give them a chance before. Them mash up the place and go. We give them a chance before. Them break up the place and go. We voting for kids. We gonna repeat. Yes. We do like the last election. The whole 15 seat. More development. More empowerment. We need to keep moving forward with this government. What? People telling me they find the whole country need a change. But if something working good, then why you want to change? The last time you went for change, I know all you get horrors. But I never did want no change, I always wanted dollars. One to them. Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. What? Vote it Mitchell. Them boy can't beat Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell.
What? I can't say it like Talpri. No.
We give them a chance before. Break up the place and go. What?
Good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. It's now 12 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock.
People telling me.
As you could see, a very successful meeting taking place there in St. George, Northeast.
Rookie.
Yeah, they tried to pull a fast one on us last minute. Yeah, so that's why last night and during the day today, we had to be announcing that the location has changed from Boca Secondary. Yeah.
First of all, you know they really have to strengthen the team. True. If NDC want your vote, tell them to leave you.
It seems as though the new national party can't get to use certain facilities, and so because we're the new national party, yeah?
Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Them boy can't beat Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell.
But they can't stop the progress. The meeting took place, and as you can see, it's a successful meeting. Continuing presently, now is the question and answer section. Usually I veer off after the presentation by the constituency lead or MP and the political leader. I generally veer off into our program. Let me say a special good night to the listeners out there in Carriacou. Those of you that can't listen because I realize current went a while ago. You know, I'm going to say it in the local vernacular, current went, yeah.
Vote it Mitchell. Them boy can't beat Mitchell.
I feel like taking that one from the top, man. No. Taking that one from the top. Yeah. Taking that one from the top.
NNP, the new national party. I'm here to promote. Yes, you got my...
Yeah, once again, electricity gone in Carriacou. Well, we understand, they had 4 engines, now they have 2. So we understand what's going on there.
What did Mitchell? What did Mitchell?
But we also have to ask questions. How come, at the point in time that they're saying they want to sell Grenlec and they have to sell Grenlec in the next 6 to 12 months. Well, not the next, That was when they won election, and in their very first interview, they said that they're going to sell Grenlec in the next 6 to 12 months. Well, we are exactly 5 weeks and 1 day away from 12 months. 6 months passed a long time ago. So if you see certain things happen with Grenlec and you realize shares changing hands on the regional exchange and all kind of weird things happening, we just have to remember, we could talk about allied healthcare workers. That is important. We must remember the barbers. We must remember the hairdressers. We must remember all these categories of people that, brother, sister, these people don't have the money still. Even though they extend the time, we continue to call on the government to extend a loan facility or some type of financial arrangement with these categories of people so that they can afford the process of being certified and registered. Yeah, 2 different things. Certified, that they are certified and so on, and then with their certification that they can become registered. So we continue to call on the Deacon Mitchell administration to ensure that whether it's through the GDB or wherever, they put something in place, whether it's a 2 million, a 3 million, whatever, put it there so that the barbers and the hairdressers and the nail techs and the masseuse and all of these different people, the ladies who does braid the hair on the beach, all of them, that they can be properly certified and registered. Yes, we believe they need to be certified. We believe they need to be registered. You see some idiotic arguments out there about, they don't want them registered and it's a good thing. Nobody is saying don't let them be registered. Nobody is saying don't let them be certified. We are saying the manner in which you're doing it is crass. The manner in which you're doing it shows a lack of compassion and caring, a lack of understanding of what people are going through. And as such, the best thing to do if you were putting something like that together, it shows a cabinet that don't care about nobody, That's what happening. We have a cabinet in this country right now. Cabinet don't care about nobody but themselves. If within a month are coming in office, less than 6 weeks, they could make sure that they increase their salary. But then from the lowest income people among us, the people who are getting payments under seed, that they take $150 from them. And nobody else but they took $150 from them. It shows that this have to be a bunch of people that don't care about nobody. Yeah? So it's plain and simple. They just don't care about anybody. So we'll continue to call on them to provide some sort of facility, whether it's that you allow people in the first instance to go ahead and get themselves registered and so on without having to pay. And then the next time that they're going to do it, they have to pay or whatever. But where is a barber that could barely get, men ain't getting 10 and 11 head to cut a day, They ain't getting that. Some hairdressers, sometimes they're lucky if they get 2 and 3 people inside there. There are certain times when certain things taking place, they might get more. We have a caller online. Let me see if I can get that caller. Well, when I'm talking, so is WhatsApp. So let me see if I can get the WhatsApp call. I think we have the caller.
Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, caller. How are you?
I'm good. Are you not on the radio?
Well, we're live right now. We're online, but I don't think we are 91.9. I don't think we're there tonight, but we are live right now. You're actually on the program.
Okay.
Yeah? Or you just wanted to find out if we're on?
Yeah, because everybody want to listen on the station.
Okay, but we're on Facebook right now. You can get us on Facebook and you can get us on YouTube. You look for Talking Points Grenada and you would find us there.
All right. Mama Saputa Desiree.
All right, my dear. And
yes, bye.
You stay good. Go and look for us on Facebook. Look for us on YouTube and or Facebook, and you would find us. Talking Points Grenada.
Yes.
All right, my dear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah, we really have to sort out that Wednesday and Thursday night slot when it comes to the program. And let me say a special good night to all of you listening via the various mediums. Those of you that are listening via YouTube, those of you that are listening via Facebook. And so those of you on YouTube, remember to subscribe, to click and subscribe to the page. Those of you on Facebook, remember to like and share. Like and share. All right? Yes. And of course, yeah, you realize I answer in the phone. Yeah, answer in the phone right through. 440-7377. And for those of you outside of Grenada, 347-329-3101. You can call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, nice.
Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Vote it Mitchell. Them boy can beat Mitchell.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week.
Vote it Mitchell. Vote it.
So here, all I talk now. So I hear Patos was supposed to go and ride along or walk around or whatever they just call the program, the junior judge thing. So I hear he was supposed to go there this evening. But what happened? How come? Patos, you jump out of the thing, you ain't go. Hey, well, call back now. See you calling there on WhatsApp. I go to answer, call, yeah, answer. Yeah, so what happened? Patos jump out, Patos don't go. Patos, what take place, by? We have a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Sheldon.
Hey, brother.
I'm fine. Send David in the house.
All right, bro.
Sheldon. Today I was in town today. This morning. Let's say this morning. I was in town this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a policeman. The manta, I look up that tread on the manta. The police pulled over the manta, man. They sit that that woman say, you don't have money in treasury. So I charging people just to get money in treasury. Who tell the woman say that? The policeman tell the woman, man, she be resistant. I tell you,
but I'll say this, sir. Hold on. Let me say this.
Yeah.
If the woman driving a vehicle and the tire have tread on it, the police right. I don't say any police wrong. The police right. One, because no, that's endangering you. That's endangering me. That's endangering the police. It could be mother, could be daughter, could be whatever. If the police officer give the woman a ticket for a tire with a tread on it, and I will explain further afterwards, he right. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's still one more time.
Brother man, you're using
I go shoot on this afternoon.
Oh boy. I think it's between two things. Either that caller is using, I don't think it's a Bluetooth device in this instance. There's a problem. I think they're using Wi-Fi and they're a bit too far away from the Wi-Fi. Yeah. So caller, in case you're hearing us and you want to call back, I'll keep the line. Well, you could call. Just keep up. But I'll say this. The police officers are correct. If it's me and I get a ticket from a tire, I've gotten a ticket for a tire before. Yeah. In fact, one day I remember driving and I parked up at a particular location. I park up every day. When I was looking, I realized, nah boy, that tire looking bad. So I said, well, I'll go in and sort out the tire that same day. And when I was going to sort out the tire, I passed through town. Stupid, passed through town. And as I'm coming over the hump, a warden give me a ticket. The warden are wrong, they're doing their job. I am supposed to sort it, or I'm supposed to be monitoring on a daily basis to make sure the tire doesn't get to that stage. That said, it shows as well that there are a lot of people, and some of the accidents that are taking place are not just due to people driving stupid. There are a lot of vehicles. If you're driving along the roads now, you realize there are a lot of places with oil stain. You realize that. Those of you that are driving, even those of you that are walking, you realize that there are a lot of areas that vehicles dropping a lot of oil because the owners cannot upkeep the vehicle in the way they're supposed to upkeep it because they just don't have the money. Yeah, they're struggling, they're trying. You have a lot of mechanics out there that help people out, Them mechanics, and if some of them mechanics tell you how much money people owe them, they try and help out and so. But in many instances, you have people out there that just cannot upkeep the vehicle in the way that they ought to upkeep it. That is endangering me. It's endangering you. It's endangering your children on the way to school and coming from school. It's endangering your elderly mother on the way to town to do market and to come back. It's endangering all of us. All right? But there has been an order going out because usually police see people passing. They understand the economic situation. So They may see somebody passing and they see a tire to a certain stage and they might stop somebody and say, hey, don't pass back with that tire again. Go and make sure you get a new tire. Yeah? Don't pass back in town again with that. They may stop people, but they may not necessarily ticket them. They may give them a warning. Go and sort that out. There are officers that do that. Wardens probably do that. I don't know. But I know officers that do that. Right? But no, they have an order that went out to them. The wardens and the officers. Ticket everything. Don't stop nobody and give them no warning. Ticket everybody. Yeah? So hand out ticket as much as possible. You understand? So busmen people now, because they know right now, people getting a ticket book when they go out on duty and they're being told, don't come back with any leaf in it, you know. Yeah, use all of that. So all of that is taking place. So I understand. There is this situation, I know it. It is a fact that the wardens and the police officers have been told they need to bring in some money. So ticket everybody. But if we try to do what we have to do, now I'm not driving these days still, but if we do what we ought to do, then we ought not to find ourselves in the position where we have to be paying a ticket. All right? So let's try to work along with them so that we don't end up filling up the treasury by tickets. Yeah, because I realize the treasury kind of broke right now. Because you have a situation, yeah, you have a situation where all of the people that ain't get paid yet, yeah, there's a lot of people that ain't get paid, but you must understand something. They were told they would end up in this situation. They were told, they were warned that the possibility was that they could end up in this situation. You have to look at when the inflows of cash take place with the government of Grenada and when the outflows are taking place. Now, on Monday is when VAT payments are due. So that's when you'd have all the checks coming in from the different businesses and so for VAT payments. It take a day or two for that to be sorted out. And then we'll come back to that. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi, night.
How going on, brother?
Adeya.
Fluffy, yeah.
Hey, Fluffy.
Yeah, how going on?
Uncle Fluffulous.
Hey, you know, I must call the program, make sure everything okay.
Yeah, man. Your boy there, your boy there.
Just checking in, you know. I just be relaxing and I just checking in and make sure it's all right.
Uncle Fluffulous, you have to be careful. Well, I know a man like you doesn't end up in the hand to have to pay no pilot ticket, but they get order, you know. Bring in as much as they could, you know. So right now, they're looking to empty ticket book.
I know. I know everything and I know how to bring in everything.
Yeah, man. And I know somebody trick, you know, that stand up in town over by the Chinese store across from the terminal there.
Yeah.
And they're watching when your vehicle coming over the hump.
Yeah.
And they're watching the tire.
Yeah, I have to be careful with tire, I have to be careful with everything.
Yeah. And plus you're bringing people.
Apana mine. A police officer me pay today. He say, yo, Ruffy, that ticket book to empty today. So I want that to say that ticket book to empty today.
My goodness.
All right, brother, I'm watching you. Good night.
All right, bro.
All right, yeah. Take care.
That's Uncle Fluffulous. Yeah, but seriously, it's really, really hard for a lot of people right now when it comes to maintaining the vehicle. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Good
How
night.
Are you doing?
I'm quite fine. How are you?
Good night. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I have a suggestion for the Prime Minister. Send the list. Tell him we need to cast the pavilion in Malmont, the steel rattling. So
the steel in the pavilion in Malmont.
Yeah, rattling, the steel rattling. Everything farm work, everything up already. Need to cast that. Okay. Everything they in place. All right.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much.
All right. Cool.
All right.
All right, cool. Yeah.
So, folks, we have a suggestion there. So, yeah. And I think the Prime Minister is supposed to be having a meeting up there just now, you know. Yeah, he's supposed to be having a meeting up there just now. So, yeah, we're saying it here because we know they have people that they are paying right now to record these programs and also to make a list. Every morning they have to send a list to particular individuals of all the issues that we have raised on this program on a nightly basis. They have to send a list to them. But I was telling you all about the inflows and outflows of cash with the government of Grenada. No, we ain't forgetting the pavilion. We'll talk about that again soon. Right. Now, on Monday, which I believe is the let me see, the 19th, 20th, 21st. Yeah, 19th, 20th, 21st. Yeah, so Monday, VAT is due. So that means all the big businesses in Grenada and the small ones as well, all who they have to pay their VAT. So they're coming in and they're making their VAT payments to the government of Grenada. Then the government of Grenada will take a day or two for those checks to clear, and the government of Grenada have money to be able to pay. As it is right now, you have civil servants, people working on behalf of the government of Grenada, who are being told, we paying in tranches, we paying different groups of people. Not paying in tranches, but paying different groups of people. So we ain't get around to you yet. That is the story that is being told to people when they call and they ask about their salary. You promise bi-monthly payment. You see, they jump up and they beat the chest as though, yes, we have done bi-monthly payment and it's successful. No, it's not successful. You judge that in a year from now, if you've seen a change in the economy due to the bi-monthly payment. Not the fact that you make the payment, you're stupider. That is not an achievement. The achievement is if it has made a positive change to the economy of Grenada and to the Grenadian society. As it is right now, the jury is still out on that because you all can't even make the payment this month. Well, not this month, this fortnight. It's not really fortnightly, it's bi-monthly, which is different to fortnightly, but we won't come to that. But they can't even make the payment. So now you have different categories of workers. Some get paid yesterday, some get paid the day before. And there are many who still are unpaid as of now. And it's all because the treasury broke. They don't have the money. And if they do what they're supposed to do, yeah, they would have had money coming into the treasury. But right now, people who have money even afraid to spend it, because I'm telling you, you have a situation with all of these people about to go home. All these people from the different security companies about to go home. I know of one security company, 50 jobs in danger. 50 jobs in danger, and then they take in the security contract and give to a person A, has never done anything in the field of security before, wasn't even a police or some kind of thing. They know nothing about that. Yeah? B, did not have a company, a registered security company on just until a few weeks ago. They went and registered a company. And now they are being given a security contract. And see, they don't even have staff. They are the sole trader. They are the only person in that company. So their intention is to see now if they could get workers from the other person. So why change in the first place? Because they just want to spite certain groups of people. And then they want to go through the list of people who've been employed by that person and see, well, I think this one is a NNP and that one is a NDC and this one is a NNP, that one is a NDC, and see who they want to take to work in different places. And we're talking about places like not just the fish market and them kind of places. We're talking about the tourism sites. So like the forts and those different places that have security officers, they're going home. All the tourism sites around the island that you see security officers there, beaches, wherever they're going home. Yeah? Those are the ministerial complex health facilities and so on. They are going home. Yeah? The same government that come in and say they ain't going and spite nobody and they ain't going and do this and they ain't going and do that. So all they're doing right now is sending out letters to all the security companies that they are going to be taking over this and placing it under the Ministry of National Security. Let's take a call here. Hello, good night.
Good night to Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Good night to you, Camille.
Good night to Patricia and Matthew in Canada.
Camille, I have to talk to you after the program,
and good night to the Grenadian people.
Mm-hmm.
Good night to Miss Jacob, wherever she is now.
Yes.
And to my friend in Caracol, Miss Madison, good night. Sheldon, you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You go ahead.
Sheldon?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. You go ahead.
All right. And good night to the lady that came to me today. There is a lady that came to me from the hospital. And she tell me, but she want me to say that tonight to her. Mm-hmm. Because for me, I does not do things and talk about it. Over the years, I'm doing a lot in Grenada, and a lot of people don't know. But I don't talk about it. I don't put it on Facebook. But this lady came from the hospital to see a doctor. And she said it was really bad in the doctor's office. And the doctor felt away with sent. And Mr. Scott, I would like we as Grenadians, all who could buy a little bottle. We could make up a little money, everybody put $1, $2, or $5 and buy some disinfectant. But I went this morning when she told me so. I feel so bad. Somebody had sent a little change from me. I took it. Leave what I have to do for myself. And I went and bought a few gallons of bleach and disinfectant. And I give it to Mr. Clark. That's the man that drives the shuttle for the hospital. Mm-hmm. And I asked him to bring it and just give them. Do not say who gives. But why I called to talk about that, Mr. Clark went and brought his stuff. And they give him another attitude. And he just get vexed and he leave it there. Because the people have him going around in circles. I mean, my God, somebody bring something for the hospital because they need it. You're making him go all around in circles. So I will appeal to the ministers to take care of the hospital. They want disinfectant. They want things to clean there. They want the doctor offices to be clean and the wards. Disinfectant, bleach. We could buy that. We could, everybody that is listening, they could even buy a bottle of bleach, buy a bottle of disinfectant and leave it with me. I will go and bring it up in the hospital. Because if somebody had been there this morning and they came back down to me and they tell me to try and beg people, ask people. But I went on my own and I bought some. And I want people to know, you all must stop running all your mouth on me because I've been doing these things over the years. Every home in Grenada, every end of year, over the years, I always do things for the old people because I don't know where I'm going up. And you have a certain man. He beat up on me this morning. He beat up. And Mr. Jones came to me and tell me what he said. But I didn't hear him. I would have given him a lawyer. Because I have a lawyer in Trinidad that win the case for the 17. And I know how to win the case. So I want him, instead of beating up, go and buy some disinfectant, buy some things and bring it in the hospital for the people there. And stop beating up on Miss Carmi. Because I do a lot of charity work. You hear me? I only say that for the first time. You have people that could testify that they get a monthly money from me for the children to pay the bus for school. You have people that could testify in Grenada. And I have a friend again that send up $50 every month. She tell me give anybody, any child, any parent. So stop beating up on me. Instead of you beating up on me, try and get like a donation to help people. And leave me alone in peace. Because I have 5 children and 10 grandchildren. And my children will stay good care of me. God bless America. Good night, Grenada.
All right, Kabi. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. And 347-329-3101 if you're outside of Grenada. Remember the 440-7377 number. You can also call us on WhatsApp using that number. Yeah. So, remember I've always told you that part of the strategy of the NDC is to, okay, we're going to come back to that. I wouldn't lose the thought. We have a caller. Let me just make sure I'm hitting the right one. Yes, we have a caller online. Good night.
Hey, Sheldon, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm quite fine, actually.
Man, good program as usual, man, and just keep calling them out, okay?
Yes, sir.
And just 3 things I want, 3 points. One, I listened to the meeting in Vendome. It was a good meeting. The Prime Minister was very articulate in his presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But I am disappointed that they didn't grant the Boca Secondary School for that meeting. That is really ridiculous.
No, I'm telling you that the agreement was there that we're supposed to have the meeting there. And then last minute they come and say you can't have it there. You know, so I don't find that's fair.
It is not fair, and I think that this is really not good for democracy. Anyone should be able to use whether it's NDC or NNP should be able to have access to the school for a meeting. You know, it's not.
Because they can't say that under the new National Party that they did not have access to different facilities to have their meetings. They used to have access to community centers, schools, all different things.
Right.
Why are they so afraid of the new National Party that for us to have a meeting in Boca would that be something bad for them? Why are they so afraid of that?
They're afraid because Ron Reddit is not doing anything. That's why they're scared. But the second point is the bi-weekly, the 15th payment that they have scheduled. It doesn't make a difference. $1,000 is $1,000, whether you get it at the 15th or you get it at the end of the month. Doesn't make a difference to the economy. Am I right?
No, you're correct. The only thing that happens there is the same amount of money. You just get it in pieces.
Correct.
And we know if you're
getting more on your paycheck, then it might generate some you know.
If you was getting $1,000,
economy, but if you're getting the same paycheck, you have the same expenses every month. So what's the difference?
Yeah, the only difference is if your salary was 1,000 and you're getting 1,000 on the bi-monthly and 1,000 on the other, and you know,
right.
every 2 weeks you're getting a 1,000, then you're in thing, but it's the same money.
It's the same money. I don't think they understand the basic rules of economics because the pension did not generate any activity towards the economy. It was just put into the bank. Am I right?
Well, when the people got the pension, a lot of the folks that got pension, some of them are outside of Grenada. They take the money and they went. There are others. Come on, because you're speaking about elderly people here. People with medical complaints and so on, so they're being very careful with how they utilize that money. A person who is in their 70s or their 80s isn't going to rebuild their house. They might repair, they might do some repairs and
pay
so.
For the funeral services and their grandchildren education.
Yeah, they may.
But they're not going to go shopping. That's the bottom line.
And some of them may do that.
It doesn't do anything towards the economy in which the Prime Minister predicted.
It did not have that effect on the economy.
I don't think so.
It did not. It definitely did. In fact, two things the Prime Minister spoke about in opposition and when coming into office that he believed would have a positive effect on the economy. One was the payment of the pensions. He was putting that forward as though this would transform the Grenadian economy and we would have people going and doing all sorts of things with the money that was injected into the economy. We're still waiting to see that. Up to now, that has not been the reality. Businessmen can tell you that.
The only people who spend money is young people. When young people get a check or they get a surplus or a bonus, they go partying, they go shopping. But the retirees, they don't do that. Their house is paid off. They're securing things for the future. You know.
No, but I'm telling you, it's a situation where these people would not spend that money. The second thing that the Prime Minister spoke about that he said would aid in the economy and help with the economy was the reduction of the cost of the freight at the port would drive the cost of foodstuff down. That never happened. We lost $5 million. The business community gained $5 million. And the price of foodstuff remain high.
High.
Yeah, instead of going down during that period, the price of foodstuff continued to rise. Right. So that didn't work. So all these economic things that the Prime Minister has been speaking about and saying, this go work, that go work, all of them just keep one after the other, proving to be that they don't work.
Sheldon, you know what, my brother? I love your program. You come on your program with a lot of facts, so no one could challenge the facts, and just keep calling them out. Okay, have a good night.
Thank you so very much, sir. All right. So, yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's the number for you to get on the inside. So, tomorrow, remember I was telling you all that one of the things they do, one of the strategies is that they try to release information on the weekend. They try to put stuff out on the weekend only. Yeah? So you can't say that they didn't say because they put it out. But they put it out on a Friday when people lime in and everybody going about their business. our Adventists among us and the others who worship on a Holy Sabbath on a Saturday, yeah, they ain't taking part in news and all this kind of thing. They go on about the business in church and so on. And other people who like to party and so on, especially the young people, they go on out in the community or they go on to one of the party areas in the south or so. So they ain't paying attention generally to what is taking place news-wise. And anywhere in the world, they tell you that Fridays are generally, anytime after Thursday evening is generally a dead time for news. So the Ministry of Health decides that they are going to have a press conference tomorrow. And that press conference is supposed to deal with the issues of, I think, the allied health care. So the same thing we've been talking about for months. Since in January, February, we've been speaking about, you've been seeing articles in Now Grenada and so on. They finally decided that they're going to speak on that particular issue. So they're coming out to speak about that. And there's another issue, and I'm trying to remember what the other issue they've said that they're going to be speaking on. Where is it? I had that here earlier. They're going to be speaking on a second issue as well. But it's plain to see, yeah, the dengue outbreak. Yeah. Now they're coming out to speak about the dengue outbreak. But what we really want to hear, once the minister is coming out there, I know he's going to try to throw the chief medical officer. He's going to try to throw Dr. Sean Charles under the bus to answer those questions and so. But I'm hoping that our media have the guts and have the belly to ask the minister to answer those specific questions. Don't pass it on to Dr. Sean Charles and so. He's administration, the minister, he's supposed to know what's going on. So we want to find out from the minister, why is there a shortage of medication to the maternity ward, to the cancer ward, to the emergency department? Why are there shortages of medications to those departments? You can't say we lie. All of us know people who have gone to the hospital and are having this problem. And now you heard Kami tonight. There seems to be a problem with cleaning supplies as well. So we want to know, why is this so? And what has the government been doing to address this problem? So it's not just that the problem is happening. Why and who is involved in ensuring that this problem is resolved? In fact, you're even bound to tell us who, Just give us the mechanism that you're using to resolve this problem. Because if something happened to me now, it's to that general hospital I had to go in. So I ain't saying this just to make all you look bad. I'm saying this to make all you fix it. If something happens to one of my children, it's to that facility they have to go. That's where I have to take them. Yeah? So I'm saying this to ensure that the situation is resolved. We have a call online. Good night. Hello? Caller, you're live right now. Hello? Okay, caller, you were live, but you were listening to the radio in the background to hear when you're live. No, speak to us on the phone. Listen on the phone. Your callers don't hold the phone in your hand and like this, and we did hear. No, we'll cut you off. We wouldn't wait. So it may be the first time that you're calling. So we expect you could call back, but remember when you're calling back to listen to us on the phone line itself. All right. Let's hope it's that caller we're getting back. Hello. Good night. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, good night, caller. Yes, you're live. Hello, you're live on the program. Go right ahead. Don't listen to the background. Talk to us on the phone. Hello? Okay, that's because you continue to do the same thing. And I mean, since the days of Methuselah, they always say, when you call, listen on the phone line. So listen to us on the phone. You can't call us on the phone and listen on the radio or listen on the computer or listen on the TV and them thing. Listen to us, speak to us on the phone. We welcome your input. All right, so give us a call again. 440-7377, 347-329-3101 for those of you outside of Grenada. So we welcome your input. You can give us a call. So I'm saying that they're coming out now with their program. They're coming out with their press conference tomorrow. So I'd like the media to ask them about the shortage of medication. I'd like the media to ask them about the problems when it comes to people having tests done and the lack of reagents. Because you're having people that have done blood tests in the past few weeks and are being told that, listen, we ain't sure if we're going to be able to test that for you, you might have to come back. Because they take the sample knowing that they may not have the reagents to complete the test that has to be done. Right? And I know the minister knows everything that I'm saying here because I told you all, they take reports from this program and they go and they tell them, they're getting reports. They know what we're talking about here. They know what the issues and the points that we raise on talking points. They know what the talking points are. But they are afraid to deal with the talking points as we raise them here because they know that we speak facts. So there is a problem with medication. They could jump on the television or wherever and say there's no problem with medication. The people who sit down there can't leave the hospital because they can't get the treatment, they can't get the medication and so on. They know very well that what we're saying is the truth. The people with the high blood pressure and so that not getting the medication as normal have to ask somebody in the States to send down money for them to try and go and get it in a pharmacy or so. And sometimes the people in the States don't even have. Sometimes they have to leave themselves undone to take that money and send down for a relative or a friend or so to go and get the medication. Yeah, because there is none. So we'd like to hear not an excuse, but we want to hear what is the response to the problem because we know the problem exists. You can't tell us it don't exist. We know for a fact that the problem exists. So what we're looking for is not to hear any excuse, not to hear any denial. We want to hear, yes, the problem does exist because we know it exists. This is how we are going to address that problem. Right? So I'm interested in hearing tomorrow what they have to say about the allied healthcare workers. I'm very interested in hearing what they have to say about that, what they have to say about the dengue situation because I'm having headaches and so even while I'm here talking to you all, I'm having some serious headaches and I'm running a temperature. So I know. Yeah, I've been dealing with my young one for the last 3 days. Yeah, since Monday night, in fact, been dealing with him with the high temperature and the headaches and the lack of appetite and all these sort of things. So I know. Yeah? So I'm very interested in hearing what it is they have to say in relation to that issue and other issues in relation to our healthcare. Yeah? What is the situation with medicine? We have a call online. Good night. Hello? Oh boy, that person, they called and their call dropped. Let me see if they'll reconnect anytime. Let me see if they're reconnecting. Oh boy, yeah, it seems as though their internet connection may have a problem. So we'll have to let them call back. I think we have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello?
Sheldon.
Hey, Cammy.
Yeah, dengue fever in Grenada?
Of course there's dengue fever here.
Hey?
Yes, there is dengue fever. There is a dengue outbreak.
Well, parents have to be very careful and we have to be careful. And Sheldon, the next thing I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't call tonight and talk about this thing for no fame, You understand? It's because Mr. Roy Jones come to me this afternoon and tell me what the man's saying. And I was very upset because there's a lot of dirty things he's saying about me. So I just want him to listen. I want him to know I've been doing that for years. Years. You understand? And it's the gospel truth. It's the gospel truth.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to call the lady name. And I know she's listening. She's listening because she tell me to speak about that. And I spend the money, I buy the things and I send out. There is a man in Grand Mall that does sell the big bottle of disinfectant from Trinidad. $25. Anybody that interested to give me $5, I will put and buy 2-3 bottles and send it up. Because I will do that and send it all home. And when they ask me to sign my name, I say, I'm not signing my name. Just take care of the elderly people. In all the home, one home in Grenada, our people home I ain't go yet, is in St. David. You hear me? Mm-hmm. So you must stop saying the bad things about me. Because you have 2 children. You have a little girl and you have a little boy. Stop running your mouth at me. Stop it. I'm warning you.
Cammy.
Stop running your mouth at Miss Cammy. Because every day I feed somebody in the tongue of St. George. Every day I feed somebody. Every day. And every day I give a child a money for a bus because they don't spend their money. They're living in Granville, they're living in Paradise, and they're living in, some living in Closure, some living in Guam, Maribel, Concord. Every day of my life, I do something for children and elderly people. Anytime you pass by Michelle and you see old people sit down there, they're waiting for money to buy bread. So instead of them running more than me and you, Sheldon, do something, uplift somebody, do something for somebody in this country. And Mr.
Me engage, me do a man like me.
You
I
can't
don't
wait on Dr. Charles to answer no question. He's the minister. And what you must do, try and get him medication. Don't wait for when he finishes to order. Do you order early? Check and see what's going down, and they don't have, and sending you order early. And help the people. And we need to help each other in this country. Okay?
All right. Okay, Kabi.
So Dr. Charles, you can understand. And the media people, Mr. Scott, listen to me. They're so hypocrite in Grenada. They will not ask Mr. Lacroix nothing.
No, they wouldn't ask
they
him
won't
about
ask
those
him
things.
nothing.
There are
the
few
media
that
people,
will.
hypocrite people.
There are few that will.
You understand? And friend thing. So they won't ask him no question. Have a good night, Grenada.
All right, Kami. There are a few that will actually ask the questions and so in relation to those things. But I'll say this as well. There are one or two people within the media that I believe will actually ask the question. Let me take this call. Hello, good night. Hello, good night, caller.
Hello, good night, Mr. Scott.
Hi, you're live, caller. Go right ahead.
Yes, it's so sad that we have to go back in that dark days with the medication at the hospital. But when I listened to the Minister of Health, in a statement he did make when they just came into power in the Senate, I know that was a wrong pick for the Minister of Health. Because you're not hearing anything from him now. Because all this thing and people is complaining of medication and you're not hearing him saying anything. He's not coming to the forefront to say, well, they order something and this is the way we should wait and have some patience. Like when NNP was in power, you always get Mr. Steele was there on the ball telling you, something is happening. But now because, Monday I went in town and I met two ladies going to the health center. And they was quarreling because they said that they used to get the eye drops in the health center. Now they have to go and bite. They're getting one and then the next one they have to go and bite. It's so sad that you see elderly people, they used to get something free or they have to pay a little something. Come to the age, and is now they're having problem to get the eye drops, to get in the medication, and it does touch me to know that people is so seeing so much trouble to have the simple medication in the hospital.
Yeah, it's really, really disgusting to be honest with you. And you see, it's where it is too. Imagine the maternity, the maternity where people are, where you have your children being born, maternity ward when women are their most vulnerable, when human beings on a whole are their most vulnerable. At the maternity ward is where you're having problems with medication. There's a place to make them kind of joke with.
It's so important that this is what the health minister supposed to be on top. Seeking interest that the people in the maternity ward, the older folks who have to get medication, the tests that sometimes people can't afford to go in a private place to get a test. So I think it's time that the government of today do something about it, and stop saying about they just come in power. You just come in power. You remember. When you was campaigning to come in power, you remember all these things you had to deal with. Mm-hmm. You can't expect to have your cake and eat it. You have to able to do things to help the people. even the Great America does help the people. So why you have to say that, people looking out for handout? It's not about handout. It's about helping the people because you had made that promise to the people. So it's time that they get up on the self and start doing something for the people. Just like with the same thing with the crime that is going on in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. The Minister of National Security is not even coming out and make a statement and speaking to the Grenadian public about the crime and the things what is happening in Grenada, and which is our Prime Minister. All he's doing is just spending how much days, like if he's not a Grenadian no more. He's spending 2 days in Grenada and the rest is in abroad. And we didn't expect that of him. There's not the promises he made to Grenadian.
He wasn't even here, and they were giving the promotions to the police officers and so on. The Minister of National Security wasn't here. He wasn't around.
So why he give a, and he's the Minister of National Security.
Yeah, he was nowhere around.
So it's time he address about these things, all these things are going on. Sometimes people, when you think about all these things, the foreigners will watch Grenada right now and want to afraid to come in Grenada because they're looking at all this crime is happening in Grenada, and which Grenada was such a peaceful place. So it's time that the Prime Minister and the Health Minister do something about what is going on in Grenada, in the hospital, and the crime. It's time they address what is going on and get up, and get up on the foot and start running. It's going to be a year now. It's time they pick up and start saying they know in office. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
Yes, folks. Yeah, our caller said it. 440-7377. And you're hearing the things. I mean, look, I didn't even know so much about the situation with the disinfectant and so on. And that kind of thing. Yeah? So, I mean, I know that they are going to be changing the Minister of Health. The person who is the Minister of Health, by this time next year, if the government still exists, that person will not be the Minister of Health anymore. Just remember telling all of that. The person who is the Minister of Health now, by this time next year, if that government survives, that individual will not be the Minister of Health. In fact, that person may not even make the month of September. From what I have heard, on 3 occasions, they have approached a particular individual, to take the reins of Minister of Health. On 3 occasions, I ain't calling the name yet, but they have called on a particular individual to take the reins of Minister of Health. Yeah? And the person is actively considering. So we have a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night, my dear. How are you tonight?
I'm fine.
All
I
right.
see you looking good, son. Are you fine?
Well, not 100%, but a day.
Yeah, well, you have to stay there. You have to stay there.
All right.
You have to stay right there. So we really need you.
I tried.
But Sheldon, I have a question to ask. Did you have a Prime Minister?
I don't know if it's a Prime Minister or CBI agent that I tried to figure out which one they're acting as at any point in time.
But I find we have a Prime Minister name. We have a name of an individual who's supposed to be the Prime Minister. But I believe he's more a businessman and a CBI agent. He's looking to big up himself in some other foreign country where he could go and settle himself and I think I don't find he'd be interested in what happening in Grenada, yeah? The talk is that on the street now is only enemy people that have problem with the government, only enemy people that see power, only enemy people that have problem. So let we want to remote until we tell we remote, nobody don't answer, nobody don't care, they going straight. That's the talk right now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Only we that have problem with what's going on, only we that complaining, only we that saying things hard.
Let them
only we
continue
that
to think
problem with the hospital, only we have problem with health. Only we. Understand? Sheldon, I remember the government, that is the NMP government, used to have this program where they pay persons to go to the elderly homes and clean the place, cook a meal for them, wash their clothes, give them a bath and things. That's still happening?
I think that it might still be happening, but here's what, when I was mentioning the allied healthcare workers and so, I failed to mention that those individuals also have to go through the process, the same as the barbers and the hairdressers and so. Those individuals who are going out here, the caregivers, they actually fall under the allied healthcare thing too, so they have to be certified and registered and all that thing, that as well.
So where they going to say that, where they get certificate to say that they qualify, where they will get a certificate from?
They would have to go through a training course by a facility that is accredited by the National Training Agency. And after they are accredited, they are certified through that facility, then they can continue working. So what would have happened if they had maintained the original date? What would have happened is that at the end of next month, none of these people legally would have been able to go and take care of the elderly and so.
So what will happen to the elderly?
It's only in going over the list that I realized that, hey, these providers, these people who are going and take care of the elderly, some of them working in homes and so on, they are included in that batch with the hairdressers and all of these people too. And nobody is saying that they shouldn't be certified and so. But who is paying? Who is going to pay for some of these people to go and get their certification? Who is going to pay for them to go through the registration process?
That's a big question. That's the way, that is how the GDP money is supposed to be using to help the people develop themselves in the country. Not for people to go and borrow to pay their personal loans and doing shipping it. That's supposed to help the people to develop themselves. They should be getting little loans now to be able to get the documents together now to be qualified to continue their job.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to the old elderly people that are depending on them? What's happening with them? More deaths in the country because the people are going to just suffer and die. I've been thinking about this thing. I've been thinking long and hard about this thing. And the next problem I have again is, you see, we Grenadians, the Bible talk about this. Ungratefulness is a curse. The Bible says a person can do you 100 bad and 1 good. Don't forget that 1 good a person do for you. Always say thanks. Always be thankful. The reason why we're in that mess here right now, because a lot of them people, Grenadians, they're too greedy and easy to be fooled with words and fake. They don't know the difference between fake and real. So a man come from and telling you, I go do this, I go do that for you, and make things better for you. You forget about the man who will do something for you all the years you've been surviving comfortable. And you're going to become somebody now that promises you something better. Pie in the sky. No, you can't see pie on your plate. You have to learn to be contented and learn to appreciate and have respect for people in authority. Dr. Kit Mitchell sacrificed his life for us in Grenada here. So what I'm still saying, why he do? Why he do not like years he did in office? Why he do?
My friend.
People still poor and struggling. All over the world, people poor and struggling all over the world. Not only in Grenada. But he used to talk, he tried his best. And he wasn't safe hands. He warned us about this safe hands. But they didn't understand what safe hands mean. Now they realize what safe hands mean now. Now they need devil hands. They put their hand in they put themselves in the lion's mouth. They just realized that.
My friend, you'll give us a buzz back. All right.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I think we have a caller on the local line. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey, just good.
All right, you go right ahead. You're live.
Sheldon, something we Grenadians are not taking serious is how the CBI program is running.
You sure it's running?
It seems like you're warning them and you're telling them what's happening. And a lot of people just, their eyes now opening. The Prime Minister, which is the head of state in the country, the Prime Minister, you're talking about the Prime Minister being an agent. You're talking about a program. That program is also a very fragile program when it comes to corruption or, let me say, some con man, some terrorist or somebody get through the cracks and come through and escape through that program and become a citizen of Grenada. And when you have the prime minister of the country as an agent. It's an embarrassment for Grenada if that program falls into any disrepute for years to come in. Because it's not just the state have agency selling passport or what, but it is the head of state, the prime minister, is selling passport. It's part of that thing, have an agency selling this thing.
And that's why we continue to ask the questions such as, has his company been involved in any passport sales between the 23rd of June and now? We have to ask that question, because if it has, then it's a breach.
He's supposed to let us know that his agency is no longer. In fact, Sheldon, I think a law should pass that anybody in government, any working in government, should not be a part of any elected minister or senator, or such as a minister of government, should not hold an agency in the CBI. They should stay away from it.
The Integrity in Public Life Act is very clear. The Anti-Corruption Act is very clear. The Constitution of Grenada is very clear. There is no possible way you are supposed to be the minister signing off finally on the citizenship of the people, selecting the committee, and yet still have a company that your company is going to apply to that committee for any benefit that you would derive from it. It is wrong. And if that is what is happening, we're still asking the question if, because we're seeing the companies, the three companies we've mentioned, they are still registered in the state of Grenada. And we know 2 cabinet ministers and 1 party functionary who is also an ambassador. So they're employed by the state of Grenada, plus they're on several boards, also has a similar company. We are asking if these companies are gaining any benefit through the Citizenship by Investment program while these people hold office. All right. Simple question.
Looking good at all, Sheldon. I am a friend from Barbados was speaking to me the last time, and I said, "What happened to you all guys in Grenada? You all those stands. I mean, that was not moral at all, morally right at all." I said, "What happened to you guys in Grenada? That your leader is alleged one has an agency selling passport." And the Bajan was telling me, he said, "Grenada getting, what happened to Grenada?" He said he thought that Grenada take that change for a difference. He said, but Grenada is plunging itself over the bank of corruption. It is plunging itself. It's bringing itself to the brink where anything happens, Grenada will fall and tumble down into this thing. Because when the head of state is involved and have an agency, my God, and people in Grenada just seems like thing lightly. This is not something to be taken lightly. And remember, they're making that thing one of the main focus to raise revenue for the, that is Grenada oil, It becomes Grenada oil.
My brother, it will be very interesting to hear, finally, when they offer themselves for that type of questioning, what they have to say about their personal involvement in the CBI program here in Grenada. We've heard of connections between Henley and Partners and Mr. Chris Kalin before the election. And now we know that the function the Prime Minister has gone to. One of the main people involved in that function is the same Mr. Chris Kalin who has been spoken about before the general election here in Grenada. Miss Andrea St. Bernard was the office person, the person in charge of the local branch of Henley and Partners, which is attached to him. And they are registered as a marketing agent in the state of Grenada for the Citizenship by Investment program. We ought to know if there is some connection between our sitting Prime Minister and other functionaries of his political organization and Henley and Partners, or any other CBI companies, because some of them link up with Henley and Partners, but they name Henley and Partners. I say enough for now.
I still call him Sheldon on the prayer walk to pray for Grenada, because it seems like These guys didn't know what they prayed for the first time.
Well, you know what has happened with that? Sometimes you end up getting cussed. And you know where's that cuss, right?
Yes.
Cuss is when you're coming under spiritual strife. That's what cuss stand for, you know. Coming under spiritual strife. That is where cuss is. And right now, yeah. Robbery, all kind of thing taking place, man, pulling gun and rob place again. All kind of madness going on in my place.
Yeah, the country just getting more and more more and more absurd. Man.
And people getting brazen because they realize the police are disheartened. So they're getting more brazen with some of the things that they're doing.
Because that form, Sheldon, that showing it face day, that CBI thing, is showing that Grenada is becoming a sort of corrupt state. A state where people do anything for money. And they would use the state to make money to fatten their pocket. And they will boldly do it. You can't be the leader of this country and still have an agency participating in something like that. It's too sensitive an area for you to be doing something like that. I think the Prime Minister, if he is involved, he need to think this thing over. If you have any minister involved in this thing, they need to think it over and get out of it.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, my brother. Thank you. All right, folks, 4407377. And let me say this then. First, I want to just jump on one or two things because, time does just, and you're done. One, I realize that you're still having the power outages taking place in Carriacou and thing, but I also realized the Minister of Labor and Legal Affairs was up in Carriacou. Senator Claudette Joseph, I hope you took the time to meet with the workers that were fired in Carriacou. I hope you took some time to, even if you sit in the restaurant, sit by the hotel, you could have sit by a bus shed with them and speak to the workers who were disenfranchised out there in Carriacou, who were sent home, who were not paid for their holidays, who were just not given an opportunity to defend themselves. I hope as Minister of Labor that you took some time, even if you had to go by, what does call him again, boy? Yeah, even if you had to go by the car wash day over by Bolin and them and sit down. Yeah, you could have go and check chef there, you'd have give some nice food and thing, and you could have sit down there and have a meeting with them. But I hope that being in Carriacou, you took the time to deal with that issue because the permanent secretary up there ducking right through, and it doesn't seem as though your ministry is capable of looking after the interests of workers unless they are supporters of the NDC. So I'm hoping that you surprised me and you took the opportunity to meet with these ex-workers because they ain't working again, these people who were sent home, including the aunt of the MP, and spoke with them to find out what were the circumstances surrounding their firing, if it was done properly, and if the benefits that they ought to have gotten on their dismissal, if they got those benefits. Yeah? So I hope that you did that while you was up there because I see you gallivanting all over Carriacou and things. So I hope you take the time to check on Carriacou people business and not just photo opportunities to say you're in Carriacou and you're walking up and down the place. All right? Nice. Also, somebody sent something here. I saw it a while ago by Junior George. Let me just say this in relation to Junior George. I care not what Junior George has to say in relation to me. If I have said something that's untrue about him, the courts are there. He could sue. I don't care about Junior George and he ride along or he walk under or whatever they just call his stuff. I don't care. Number one, I don't watch it unless something happens on it and somebody says, Sheldon, you need to look at this, and I would view it. The nastiest things have been said about me personally on his program. Did he ever try to put a stop to any of it? The nastiest things. They've called me every possible nasty name in the Grenadian lectionary on his program. In the comment section, on the program itself, he did nothing to stop it. As far as I am concerned, he is complicit in the attacks that have taken place on me personally over the past couple of years. So I don't care what he thinks of me. I don't care what he thinks because, number one, he's not intelligent enough to have a conversation with me in relation to any issue. Yeah? If he was very interested in what is taking place in Grenada and the upliftment of Grenadian people, issues like I am discussing here, he would have picked up and tried to bring on the program to have Grenadians get a greater understanding. But instead of that, We bring up the issue of Mr. Patrick Simmons. He tried to pull him. He should have pulled him. You should have bring him and let him talk. Because I'd be glad to get the audio so that it could go to the appeal. I would have glad to get the audio. He should have been stupid enough to come. Because if you were stupid enough to bring him, and he was stupid and dotish enough to come, I would have been very glad to help him lose the case on the appeal. Because for some reason, some of you feel that somebody afraid of you. Because all you have an audience and all you could go and say all kind of thing about people. Up to this week, my name calling on your program. So if I call your name on this program and you upset about it, you could just go to hell. Me afraid you. Me ain't care about you. Yeah? It is what it is. I have said what I said about Mr. Patrick Simmons. I've read out the cross-examination transcript here on this program. If anything that we have said about him is untrue, in the same way that he took Dr. Mitchell to court, is the same way he could take me to court. I have no problem going in court. I've been there before and I could go again. So that is not a problem. But who is you to play like leave you? You doesn't leave my name out your mouth. You just have people saying all kind of things. You do special programs on me. You damn hypocrite. And I'm supposed to be afraid to call your name somehow? Man, who is you? Anyway, back to business. 4407377. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing, my dear?
I'm doing okay. Sheldon, as it relates to the CBI, the former administration, remember they said, the NDC people said that they didn't say it was the government leader. They didn't say it was the members of parliament, but they distinctly said Dr. Kit Mitchell selling Grenada passport. They said Dr. Kit Mitchell is selling Grenada passport. They single him off. The question is, why is Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell so interested in the CBI program? Remember, they said the then Prime Minister Kit Mitchell was selling passport.
That's what they used to go on the platform and say.
Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell very interested in the CBI program. So the question is, why? Why? Would he be selling passports? Question. That is what I think every Grenadian should ask. Why is he interested? And would he be selling passport? He is the Prime Minister. I would like for some NDC person, those who know it all, to answer these questions for me. Because something definitely isn't right here. You label Dr. Kit Mitchell as selling Grenada passport. Now you're very interested. You're very interested in the same thing you said Dr. Mitchell was doing. Something have to be wrong. Something have to be wrong. Somebody isn't right.
Well, remember, my dear,
somebody isn't right.
We have the present Prime Minister on record when he was in opposition saying that he has no problem taking money from people involved in CBI for his political campaign and his party. He has no problem in doing that. He's on record. We have it here. We have the video. We have the audio of him saying that.
Okay. So he wasn't in, he had no problem in taking money for his campaign while in opposition. Now he's Prime Minister.
Well, we go find out about that one, don't worry.
Right.
What's in the dark must
we
come
want to know
to
why
light.
he's so interested.
What's in the
There are
dark?
other things. Healthcare, agriculture, tourism. We don't hear nothing about tourism. Tourist season closed and it's about to open again. When you hear nothing about tourism, there are other interesting things. There are other important things for Grenada. But to me, he's not interested in that at all. What he's interested in now is CBI. All CBI meeting he attending, something has to be wrong. Something must be wrong. But what in the dark, I'm quite sure will come to light.
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue with the program.
All right, my dear. Thank you so very much for your input. 440-7377. That's the number to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. Yeah. Cuss coming under spiritual strife. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hey, pleasant good night, Shalom.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, not bad. I'm blessed and highly favored.
All right,
but,
wonderful.
There's a few shows that I just want to share on. And the reason for that is because I think the nation knows what is happening.
Mm-hmm. You have to talk up a little bit for me. You're a little low.
Yeah. There's some other saying that there are some things. First of all, as I said, I'm blessed and highly favored by the Most High God. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
But there's a few scattered shares that I want to speak about.
As I speak about costs coming under spiritual strife, as we see happening to different sections of our society now, you're not under that. You're good.
Yeah, good.
All right. But go ahead.
But what I could speak about, which I think I need to speak about, is that, Shalom, there is something that is going on with security contracts in Grenada that I think persons need to know. As you know, I operate a security service. And yes, I have contracts with the government of Grenada. And yes, in recent times, we were issued with termination letters, but it was written in a way stating that it is because of all ministries would no longer, or the ministries would no longer be responsible for the security in their ministry. Every security contract would be under Ministry of National Security. And to facilitate the transition, yeah, they would have to terminate every security contract with every ministry to have that transition moving over. But lo and behold, Sheldon, what is happening now is that the person's contracts will be terminated in some cases in the ending of this month. And the notice was only given to them the weekend, basically, you'll say, of May Day. Right? Some came after. But what is really disturbing, Shalom? A phone call from a bailiff, because I know him as a bailiff. I also know him as an activist of the end, asking me about where my security contracts is in the Northwest. So I don't understand. And that gentleman continued to speak about, well, a high man call him and tell him that he will be getting the Northwest. Okay? That's what I mean, you're getting the Northwest. Meaning all the security contract in the North will be given to him. Mind you, that is, then I get to realize, well, he have a security company. So I said, I never know you have a security company. He said, oh yeah, I register a business. Sheldon, this man don't himself have an office. This man don't himself have a security officer because he never himself trained. Like, I mean, this is a business where you have to train people and whatnot. But he had the audacity to tell me that he was called by a high man, meaning a minister, and told that contracts are ready and he will be given the Northwest. And asking me about the sites that I am doing, how much men that is there, and telling me he would need my help in the sense that to give him my officers. I don't understand. I operate a business. And in my business, I invest in training my officers so that I can provide the service that I am providing. This gentleman just have a business name registered. There was no proper investigation to say, well, okay, what is the criteria that took place for him to get the government contract? Now, except he's a well-known activist of the NDC. All right? And he had the audacity, you know, to tell for me to close my business down, basically, and give him my workers so that he could service the contract that he get, that he don't himself have a secretary, much less a security to do the sites. Sharon, I remember in the Prime Minister's inaugural speech, he talked about nepotism. He talked about corruption and all these things. There will be no more. What is the criteria used to give this gentleman security contracts? A matter of fact, Sheldon, the gentleman tell me he have not even seen any of the sites that he's awarded.
And he's getting all the contracts in the Northwest.
That is what he said. That is what he said to me. He was told, and he said a high man, meaning a minister, the contracts already, and you will be getting the Northwest. But the thing about it, Sheldon, this gentleman only just registered a company. He don't understand nothing about security.
So what's the criteria then for selecting him as the person to safeguard us? Because it's me and you here to come and safeguard now, you know, and this guy obviously doesn't know anything about the field in which
No. Here we go on, Sheldon. That is where the media in this country need to ask the relevant questions to the authorities in the press conference. Right? The media need to ask. Another public servant, because let me get it right. I mean, you as an intelligent fellow, you have been in the system, so you understand. One who works with the Royal Grenada Police Force is considered to be a public servant, is it?
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Now, is it corruption to have a public servant open with a security company and getting contracts with the government while employed with the service?
I believe the Public Service Commission could call them in relation to that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Because right now there's
a business, there's something there against that. Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Right. There's a certain police officer who is going around telling people he's getting the ministerial complex and he's getting the financial complex, and he's saying he is getting it. Corruption to the highest, isn't it?
Yeah, the Integrity in Public Life Act covers those things, though.
Again, I hope the media asks the relevant questions when they see what will happen from the 1st of June. This is something that I really want them to pay close attention.
No, the media ain't had time for that. So Hamlet, Django, Kalistra, they find themselves in the meeting in Northeast tonight, but they ain't had time to ask government them kind of questions. They ain't had time to find themselves to ask. I'm sure they're not going to ask the questions that we're asking here tonight at tomorrow's press conference, but they find themselves up in the meeting up there in Northeast. I don't think they're from that constituency, but they find themselves.
Sheldon, and I have a suggestion. I think Talking Point need to put some questions also on social media under the program where we ask the government, because they seem to like social media.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And they seem to follow social media and respond to what people say on social media than they respond to the opposition leader or the opposition team. We know of several questions that have been asked in Parliament that is not being answered.
No, they're not
if you put something on Facebook, you get an answer quick. So maybe Talking Point need to start posting, not just, I know you mentioned the questions, you will ask the question on the program, but on your page, a list of questions to the government of Grenada.
That'll be a long list, you know. I might need 2 pages.
Yeah, but you could start with some, you know.
I need a page, I need a book.
I understand. But I just want the general public to know this. This gentleman is a bailiff. This gentleman is a well-known activist who at one point in Fontenoy, Cherry Hill, I should say, brought some letter to the Prime Minister at one point, so you would know what I'm talking about, just trying not to call name, but everybody would know who it is. And that gentleman only recently must be known. His company was only, he put together and registered a company in 2023. That same gentleman, Sheldon, met me by the Carriacou boat and tell me the NDC is the worst government. He said he campaigned for them and they ain't pay him. And Mr. Deacon is the worst person and he wanted to go into tourism and he sent his CV to Mr. Deacon personally and all he know, he hear the board was called out for tourism. Nobody told him anything and he told me they won't last long. 3 years he give them. And he started to see a lot of things. I don't know if it's to quiet him. He's now being furnished with security contracts. He have not even seen the sites. You cannot go to his office. If you ask, if they had to go to his office right now, there isn't an office. You understand? There isn't an office that you could go to sit down and have a chat with him pertaining to security. There isn't a training session. If they ask her, let me see your officers, he can't show you one officer.
But yet still he's been given a contract.
But not just a contract. He's given several contracts. As he said, and I quoting him, he got up, he said, they tell me that I will be controlling the Northeast. The Northwest. So any government contract on the Northwest supposed to go to him.
So schools, health
a
centers,
man who
all of
only register a security name. Because that is what has happened.
And I've just received a message there. It says that if a police officer has to carry on a job other than being a police officer, they have to get permission from the Public Service Commission, written permission from the Public Service Commission. They can't just do it like that. So they have to have written permission. Public Service Commission gives them the ability to go ahead and do that or do whatever. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I know that talking points normally do, investigation, and so I hope that maybe we could come up with that information because that should be public knowledge, yeah?
Yes, indeed. We spoke about it earlier.
And for what it's worth.
We spoke about it earlier because we are aware of your situation and some others, but we will be digging for more information to bring out to the Grenadian people on this issue. Because you're speaking literally here of companies, in some instances, 30-something, 20-something people, some 50, some 60.
60, yes, 60-something, 70-something workers that will be out of a job.
Yeah.
And, give it to a company that don't even have one person working with them. They have not even a trainer officer. Where they getting the workers from? So he come to me now, telling me that my company, and telling me, didn't you get a letter? I say, what you talking about? You didn't get a letter telling you that your contract is terminated? I say, and so, well, your men will have to work with me. I say, excuse me? He telling me my men will have to work with he. I say, why? Because he don't have anybody.
But you get a contract.
But he's awarded the contract. He never ever said see the sites. Normally, let me tell you how this thing does work, my brother. You would have to go and look at the site, do an assessment, and do a proposal. So he hasn't sent in any proposal. He just register a business. And let his party hawks know, hey, you have a security company. And cabinet sit and award contract to that individual.
My brother, this is a serious situation. We definitely have to do some follow-up on this one. And I believe some questions, both online, in Parliament, and otherwise, going to have to come in relation to this issue because this one is a serious one.
Exactly.
Is a serious
Very
one. And it's
serious.
also, again, in breach of the Integrity in Public Life Act.
Exactly.
Yeah? Because some of them, apparently, they don't read or they don't care about the Integrity in Public Life Act. We know that up to now, there's no Integrity Commission. So let's see what happens. Yeah?
Shalom, I guess it's as well, we hear the people speaking and we hear what they are saying now. And what did they say?
Man, they could run, but
We
they
have
can't hide.
belly and we have guts.
Brother, they could run, but they can't hide.
I say no more at this point, and another time I'll come on your program and probably give some more information.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank
my
you.
brother. And we hope to hear
Thank you
from
for
you
the
real
time.
soon again. All right.
Sure.
Thanks. Yeah, folks. So all you hear that what I was saying earlier, you all heard it from, I don't want to say the horse's mouth, from the human's mouth. Yeah. All you hear it from a security company that was treated in the exact way that I spoke about earlier. All you hear from him. So man who just create a company, don't have no workers, no experience in the field, yet still they're giving a pile of contracts in the my goodness. That is the madness that's going on in the place. We have a caller online. Good night. Hello, good night. Hello. Okay, that caller's phone seems to be giving them a little problem there. Let's try the phone line here again. Hello, good night.
Shalom.
Yes, Gami.
That man office is at the terminal, you know. The man that get the contract for by me up here and get all what talk to this man there and say he get the contract. The office is at the terminal. By me just come every morning with the big book. He had on a jacket. You understand? The man office is at the terminal. He was there all day today.
Oh, so the office is on the bench by you?
He bring us summons for Dr. Mitchell a few years back in Cherry in the community center and telling me under arrest. You understand? Yeah, this is it. Yes, I the same man I get the contract. I boasting. The office is in the bus terminal and block 9. The block are there and is block 9. That is where it does be. You understand? Right by me there. So the men and them, the people he want to come and work with him, they have to meet him there. Yeah. He was there today. He there today talking again. Yes, he want me to hear. He wanted me to hear. He get the work. He get big work now. You understand? Let me tell you something. That is a kind of man. One day I go in the courthouse. He don't want the police to put me out. He want the police, so the magistrate say, let me sit there. When the case started, a lady from Canada, she lawyer talk. The veranda used to sit down and eat and drink juice. I hear the case that day, so he can't stand me. But the office, anybody want to meet with him for that work, they have to meet him on block 9, and the bus terminal, between the Granville and the Grand and bus stand. That way that's where the book. You understand? He bring tell Dr. Mitchell that he under arrest. Them people would have killed him in Cherry in the community center. I remember that.
All right.
That way you have to say.
Kami.
Yes,
We'll
good
talk
night.
again. All right, my dear. 4407377. We have roughly about 15 minutes remaining. Yeah, roughly about 15 minutes remaining on tonight's program. Yeah. So, folks, tomorrow they're going to be having that press conference in the morning. So, you want to hear what they have to say. I'm hopeful that by the end of the day tomorrow, we'll see the written judgment in relation to that case with Dr. Mitchell, because I find that judging. You know, I have to be careful because next thing they issue a warrant. But maybe about the judging, I don't find that judge making sense, because for what I see as in documentation in relation to lands in Hope, yes, what I see in relation to documentation in relation to lands in Hope, St. Andrew, and what I have seen in relation to the cross-examination that took place of Mr. Patrick Simmons. Yeah. I ain't see how anybody could lose that. I'm very interested in seeing the written judgment. Very, very interested. Maybe the mouth slip on the city road. It can't be the one saying the right thing, man. It has to be the one saying the wrong thing. We have a call online. Good night.
Hello, good night, Sheldon. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. I'm just listening to you from a distance.
Oh, okay. You're not a wrong man.
Yeah.
That's why I don't hear you 2 nights.
Yeah. I'm out. Just ask the people, man, just to have patience. You know, that is based. Life is based on that. No matter how you be tested, yeah, once you show patience, you will be rewarded, and they will go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is my take on this. Just patience. I mean, you know, you can't do nothing apart from that. You have to do everything in accordance, and will be prosperous after that. Yeah. I mean, we know we actually see what we're going already, and there's no more long to that. The time is coming quick and fast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, my brother. Thank you so very much.
All the best. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you. And let me see if I see somebody had called me a little earlier day. I wonder if I could find that man, boy. Let me see if I could find my partner there. He tried to call me earlier, but he called me when somebody else on the line. I don't understand what to do this guy. He tried to call me when somebody else was on the line. Let me see if I get him now. I'll try to call him now and see if we get him. Yes, by in the interim, 440-7377. You can call us via WhatsApp, and you could call us directly via that number. All right, yeah. So when they had a press conference tomorrow, I hope that they're answering the questions in relation to the shortage of medication and they don't try to slide it off on one of the public servants and say, well, yeah, is this one you have to ask or pass the question. No, you're the minister. You sit down in cabinet. You have to ask the Minister of Finance to provide the funds to do what has to be done and so on. You sit down there. So don't come with this kind of thing. Don't pass it on. Answer the questions. Yeah, so in the same way some people find themselves tonight to go in NNP meeting tonight, find themselves in that meeting. And somebody just mentioned something on the chat there. They're saying that the NDC knows that the most dangerous opposition leader in the OECS, I would even expand that and say within the Caribbean, is Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. Because when you look at all the other opposition leaders, yeah, them look like they're in opposition for a while. But they know that if they're looking for an opposition leader in the Caribbean that can return to office, is Dr. Mitchell. And that's why they keep attacking him. That's why they keep saying all kind of things. If they so consider NNP as dead and NNP making no sense and forget NNP and all this kind of thing, if they're so sure and they're so strong on all of that, if they're so sure and they're so strong on all of that, NNP gone through, that's the end of NNP party dead, then why they fussing and frustrating themselves so? Why you worrying about what NNP dead? So why are you listening to talking points for that? They should be busy building your party and doing other things. Why are you so busy trying to run everywhere NNP I talk on Facebook or on Instagram or anywhere they want to run under there and put the thing and attack people and all kind of thing? Yeah? If we say something on a program, they want to run different places and they want to try and counteract what we say. But when we speak with facts. There's no counteracting. When we tell you that the MP for South St. George owes the government of Grenada $2.something million, there is no counteracting that. That's a fact. They can't say that's a lie. The only way that becomes a lie, well, it wouldn't even become a lie, because if he pay the 500 and something thousand and he gets the penalties laid off, then he no longer owes. But as it is right now, he owes the government of Grenada over $2 million. If I was saying something that wasn't true by now, because they want to shut me up, they'd have done sue me. That's why I just be very careful. As I said, I got other information and I just ain't using it yet because I want to go through and verify the information before I bring it onto the program. And that's how we do things. Yeah? So we are easy to find. We're not difficult. We're not hiding. I'm not in no bunker somewhere in Virginia. Yeah, all you in Virginia, good night. I'm not in a bunker in Virginia. I'm not hiding in the woods in North Carolina or South Carolina. Yeah? I'm not somewhere out in the bayou down in Florida. And I'm definitely not in a basement in New York. I'm easy to find. Anybody that really want to find me in Grenada know how to find me very easily. Yeah? One of the easiest people to find if you really want to find me. So I'm still wondering, why are they so upset? Why are they, it's like you win but you lose. Yeah, they win, but they're so upset and they're so uptight and they're so worried. And again, when it comes to our young people, I keep saying something here and I want you all to listen. We are responsible for how some of these young people are operating when it comes to the issue of voting. You know why? Because we have not told them about some of the things that happened here before. Many of the people who are in the Imani program now and will be going home because they're telling the business places, listen, if you don't hire them, we are going to send them home. We're not going to keep them under the program. We're going to send them home. Yeah, and they've already stated that some of the people in the program too long time for them to go. And so now there are people who in the program who don't know what happened to the set of people who was in the program before. You know why? Because we never tell them. Some of them was living in a house and we never explained to them. We have allowed them to raise in their eyes people like Eddie Frederick and people like George Worm as paragons of virtue and informers, people that could give them information they should listen to. When you and I know the court cases that pass here in Grenada involving those individuals, we know what happened with GBN. We know what happened with the Grenada Today newspaper that doesn't exist again because now you have the New Today, and we know the reason why the Grenada Today doesn't exist again. We know Dr. Trinidad Express ended up getting sued because of something that newspaper did here in Grenada, the Grenada Today. So it is not that these people are new and they just come on the scene and they said, we have allowed some of these people to recreate and reinvent themselves and come back as something new. So they're out there all over saying all kind of nasty thing about people, and people see them as somebody up there. Paragons of virtue, and so they must check the OECS courts and see some of the cases and them that they, and check the high courts from years back and see some of the cases that there. Then they're going to know who they must listen to and who they mustn't listen to. One thing they will never see in any of the OECS courts, the high courts, any of them, is my name there in relation to anything that I have said about somebody, that I went and I lie or say something about somebody and they sue me and I lose. Number one, I never get sued, and number two, I never lose because I never get sued. But they must check on some of those who saying all kind of thing about Dr. Mitchell and NNP and this one and that one and all kind of thing. Check their record. Check their record. And we, the elders who are wrong, who know, we're supposed to be telling them, but we ignore telling them. So some of these people jump on social media now and they become social media stars. Have people listening to them, and yeah, this one, that, yeah, what you say, and that one, and yeah. And we have not informed the young ones about who these people are. But they're learning now, They're learning now because they're seeing what is happening around them. You think the young ones who living in the household that their parents are security officers and so on getting sent home, or the ones who living in the household and their parents, their mother or their father, and sometimes both, are police officers and they see they can't get a rank simply because of the perception of them being an NNP household. Or those who got the houses in Carriacou and it was taken back from them simply because some people perceive them to be supporters of the New National Party. We have to get rid of them. You think the children ain't watching? But they have to talk to the children too. We have a caller.